Welcome to Cowlitz Spotlights. I'm Tammy Nelson, your host, and I am a local real estate agent and owner of Cowlitz Spotlights. And today I am spotlighting Tracey Pruitt with Awaken Life Coaching and Support here in Longview and the area. Hi, Tracey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Tammy?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
Looking to find out more about your business.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I have had this business for 10 years now. Come October, I started in 2014. And when I started, it was hard. Life coaching was big in the big cities and nothing in Longview. So it was a chance that I took, and I'm really glad that I did. It's been an amazing journey.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Very
it's been
good.
fun.
So what inspired you to become a life coach?
That's a great question. I had several careers. I've taught, I have my special ed degree and my master's, and so I taught school here in Longview and was department head, so I helped with teachers and parents and, of course, the kids. And then I directed a child care for 10 years, and the same thing, worked with the kids, but worked with the teachers and the parents. I was a case manager for a couple nonprofits here in town, and it finally came to women always were the ones that were needing more, that I felt like they would come to me and say, I just feel stuck. And a lot of times for women, as you know, you're a woman, that sometimes we allow our life, kids, or even if we're just single and we're just working full time and we're just busy, and there's this dream down inside of us that we really want to get after. It's like, I don't have time. I think this is just the way it is. And I would hear women say that all the time. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be. There's more. There's more you can do. There's more that you can be. You don't have to stay stuck. And so that was kind of my inspiration to go, I think I can help these women find exactly what they want to do and have that purpose and have that ability to be able to enjoy life to their fullest. So
Nice.
yeah,
Very good.
So that's how I started.
And here we are.
And here we are.
So how do you approach each coaching session? And what are your key steps that you follow to help your clients achieve their goals?
All right. So everybody that comes in are, and yes, I only work with women. I should say that. I do work with couples and I do work with families. The reason why is because I'm a woman and I don't really understand everything about a man. And so a man would work really well with a man because they get their lingo and their thought processes and stuff, where I understand women, hormones, all the things that go on with women more than I do men. So I just don't think I'd be very productive help coaching men.
Right.
But when the women come in, everybody's unique, everybody's different, and so I just take it one person at a time. I do have an intake form, I have some activities and some things that I love working with and having them do, because it gets them thinking, it gets them dreaming again, it gets them to that place where, oh, maybe I could do that, but everybody's different. So for my coaching, I just take it one client at a time. There's no real formula. There are certain activities we do, but when it comes to the time where they're setting their goals and their action steps, it really is up to them and how much they want to work for it. I just help them stay accountable. If they want it, they can have as much accountability or as little. It really is client driven. So we just go, and accountability and consistency, and then, helping them when they come up against an obstacle, help them bust through that obstacle. But also, why do I have this obstacle? So kind of some inner working that can happen too if they want that. When they have their victories, then we celebrate together. So it's just what that person needs for that time.
Right.
Basically.
So you just meet them where they're
at. Yes.
Yeah. And help just guide them as
they discover what
in
they
their
want.
comfort zones. And okay. And
Right.
and you did mention that you do Zooms and
Oh yes, that's right. I do. You don't have to come into the office. I actually have quite a few clients that are outside the area that we do Zoom or we do FaceTime. messenger, video, or just a good phone call. And so I just send all of their stuff off to them in the mail so they can have the hard copies, and then we just work together. And it works great. I've got a gal over in Eastern Washington that I work with, and I've had one down in Oregon, and so I've got them all around. So it doesn't have to just be in the office.
Right.
Yeah, which is fabulous.
Yes. What kind of resources do you use to keep your credentials and yourself updated?
That's a good question. When I decided I wanted to be a life coach, I went through the Fowler Institute and I got a certificate. So I went through their training. So I did that, even though I have my master's degree, I got my education, but I really wanted to know what they had. And so they had a real simplistic way of coaching, and I absolutely loved it because it's really profound. Now, to keep up with all of it, I do some seminars and I do some webinars and I buy books. And so I'm constantly looking at what's new and what's innovative and that type of thing. So I keep up on it and what's the best thing right now for women.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know, that continuing education is always important because everything changes a lot.
Right.
I mean, we're women.
Right.
we know.
Yeah. Well, and we have to stay on our toes,
Yes.
and especially because we are all different. So it's not like you come in and then somebody else, right after. You guys are going to both be different. So I have to stay on my toes. I got to be thinking all the time, what does this woman need right now? What is it, And you ask a lot of questions. So questions are really, for coaching, that's basically, because everybody that I work with knows down here what they need. It's just asking those questions so it starts coming up, and then helping them organize their thoughts or get it down on paper, a goal, action step, and let's go. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, asking the right questions is very, very important.
Yes.
I'm learning.
And you're doing great.
Thank you. So how do you adapt your coaching style or approach to different types of client situations, and what are some of the factors that you consider when you're doing that?
Well, my office is in a church, and I am a Christian, and that's one of the things a couple people have asked me is, do you work with other faith-based people or people that don't have any faith, that they just don't have a religion, as people call it,
right.
Which is fine. I have worked with all sorts of women, and like I said, they're all different, and so I just approach them the way they want to be approached. If they don't have any faith-based anything, that's fine. We're going this way, and it just is, again, taking each client, listen to their story, where are they at, and where do they want to go? And a lot of times women don't even know where they want to go, but we hear the story and then you ask the questions and it gets them starting to think and dream again.
Yeah. Well, like you mentioned in the beginning, if you're feeling stuck, you don't know where you want to go or where you need to go, or even like you said, your dreams get squashed. You're stuck inside,
Right.
And, learning just to bring those out. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun.
Awesome.
It is fun.
What about feedback? Do you give your clients something to give you, feedback, and how do you respond to that?
Yeah, when we first start, I really remind the women, please, if there's something you don't like, tell me now. So I like the immediate, because my style may not always be their style. I might be too enthusiastic, but I need to read that with them too. If they're quiet and they're, I've got to read the room, as some people say, or read the person. But at the end of their coaching and they have their goals and they're happy and they're moving forward, or even some that just say, it worked for a while and I'm going to take a break, I give them an evaluation because I want the feedback. I want to know what I've done well and what I need to improve on. So I give them an evaluation. Honestly, even if I'm still working with the women, and I did this before COVID. I haven't done it as well after COVID, but every year I would send out an evaluation, whether they're still working with me or not. I'd send it through the mail. They'd get an address envelope back. They'd send it back to me. They didn't have to put their name on it. And so I would always be getting feedback.
Nice.
And I do that when I teach too, when I teach a class or something. So
you mentioned just now teaching a class. So
Yes.
you don't just have one-on-ones.
Right.
you do other things. Tell me a little bit about that.
I do. I love developing curriculum, and I've done a couple different curriculums. I've worked with Emergency Support Shelter, contracted out with them, and taught some classes for them from my curriculum, and that's been so much fun. And I've also have done a couple other curriculums too and classes, but I've also gotten to do like a woman's tea, Christmas tea, and so I got to be the keynote speaker for that. And a couple other nonprofits have asked me to do inspirational, just little messages really quick during their meetings and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm kind of branching out into that a little bit more, because what's better than to have a whole room of women that you can help encourage and bring hope and joy to, and let them walk away with some tools to be able to get going on their destiny, their purpose.
Yes.
So.
Yes, in fact, I attended one of your classes,
Yes,
and
you did.
I loved it. I
Thank
took away
you.
so much, and just the women getting together and the bonding.
Right.
I didn't know. I knew one person in that whole room, and
right.
by the time I got done, I had so many friends.
I
was
love that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I love it. And, a group of women together, I learned a ton, and I learned a ton in our class that we
Yes.
did. But I also know that a bunch of women together, it's powerful.
Yeah.
And, you do walk away with a whole bunch of understanding and insights and tools to be able to move forward in
Right.
life. Yeah.
It's nice because to get into a group that, like I said, I only knew one person, and her and I said, let's go do this, But because, again, going back to that stuck thing, sometimes we get stuck in relationships.
Yes.
Like friendships and, just being in these little boxes
Right.
and we're afraid to branch out. So
Right.
that really helped me a
Oh,
lot.
I love that. Yeah, and funny that you would say relationships, because one of my tools that we do is the 6 areas of our life, the 6 influences, and so one of those areas is relationships.
Oh, nice.
And so there is just 6 basic things, so we kind of rate ourselves, and then from there we do a couple other activities.
That's
so it's
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what besides you are on CowlettSpotlights.com, and what would be another easy way, your preferred way for somebody to get a hold of you?
You can do Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And I have a business page on Facebook, but I also have a website, www.awakenlifecoaching.supports.com. And you can get on there and you can message me, and it'll email me, and we can make an appointment, and you get a free consultation / mini session to see if we're a good fit, and we can go from there.
That's wonderful.
So thank
you
you
so much. And again, she's on Spotlights or CowlettSpotlights.com. So all of her information is there. And
Thank you.
Thanks again. And have a
thank you
wonderful
for having me.
day. It was so good to see you.
Yes, it's great. Thank you.
Awesome.